All right, we are indeed live. It's taken a while to pop up on my side, but we are all good to go. We are all here now. This Richmond race is going to be very interesting because I don't think we're going to have a ton of duplications no matter where you're at in terms of whatever contest you're in terms of line of construction, just because there's so many different ways to go. And at least in my view, in my opinion, where I'm at, I'm worried. I'm very much worried about the place differential plays that seem like good plays, that seem like smart plays, not working out. I want to chase after lap leaders. I want, hell yeah, Clutch. First off, thank you for the super chat right off the bat. Thank you for the support. If you watched Pearce's video, I will happily panhandle because I prefer PayPal over YouTube because I have to wait like a month and a half for YouTube to come through, and YouTube takes some money. So if you guys would like to support me, support Pearce, I do have my PayPal in the description. I do send money Pearce's way whenever it is donated, but it's not even stars and scrubs. This is what I'm doing. I'm telling you right now. I was very much debating doing 20 lines today, or focusing on just the one line that I like with Yaley chasing all the lap leaders. That's the way I'm going to go. Very similar to last night, to where we want to have the guys who are up there getting fast laps and laps led. Okay, so let me move this over here. Let me bring this over here. Let me open up this. I look, everybody knows that I am much more aggressive when it comes to chasing punt plays and the bottom end of the spectrum and all that type of stuff here. I don't know why I use spectrum, but you know what I mean. I I like that build. Specifically when we get what I think is a misprice on Truex, Chastain. I think those two guys are absolute studs here. I think you should have a ton of Truex and a ton of Chastain. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but what about Kyle Larson? He started on the pole here before, and he's only led like 7.5 laps. Okay, go ahead and fade Larson. I'm going to go ahead and look to play Larson. Hope that he leads early. I'm not concerned about his practice speed. If people want to fade Larson based on, oh my gosh, he's only led like a handful of laps here when he starts on the pole. Oh my gosh, are you looking at his practice speeds? Yeah, I understand. And we understand that there is a difference in the two groups. The track changed tremendously between the two groups. When we look at guys who are going to be potential lap leaders, those guys are Larson, Chastain, Hamlin, Truex, and I would argue Blaney, but just looking in the top 10, it's those guys. And the primary guys that I would focus on would be Larson, Chastain, Hamlin, and Truex. We need, and I understand we've gone to, intermediate tracks, and we're like, man, these guys just can't pass. We need to be more aggressive. We need to be way more on chasing lap leaders and stuff than focusing on the place differential plays. Now we're at a track where we have seen this year with this car that people can't pass. And so if you have my projections on Patreon, I'm going to switch this so I can stare at the camera more, because I hate staring left. I feel like I'm not talking at you guys, or I'm not talking with you guys. When we look at how I have people projected, and I kept a lot of guys in the realm of I wanted to see if the optimizer would still use them. I wanted to see if they would still work in the lines. And right now, look, my stuff is telling me don't play Kyle Busch. Doesn't work out. I am trusting that. It has my projections in there when I'm building lines. I currently have, at least when I ran my line, I got like 1% Kyle Busch in when I ran 150 lines. And even when I started removing people to try and force them in and stuff, we didn't get any Kyle Busch. And so that's telling me right then and there that, look, it's not worth chasing Kyle Busch, who most likely won't get the lead in this race. Okay, we understand that Kyle can run some fast laps here, and I am not on the train of, oh my gosh, Kyle Busch sucks. He's had a you've already heard that song and dance from me the past like 4 weeks. and then Kyle Busch basically says the same thing verbatim in the media room or with the media yesterday. So we understand that Kyle Busch he's running fine. Okay, he's just had some bad luck. However, in a race like this where we've seen that we can't pass, I don't want to waste $11,400 on Kyle Busch. I don't think you should be either. I don't like Reddick. I don't like Chase Elliott. Christopher Bell is somewhat interesting, but Bell is going directly against one of the guys up front to lead laps, and I'm concerned that Bell can't get the lead in stage one. Okay, unless we have yellows, unless he can start using strategy, I don't see Bell getting the lead in a green flag situation, because if we go green and he spreads out, sure, Bell's gonna have a fast car. He moves up to like 11th or something. Say we're like 60 laps into a run or whatever. Bell's up to 11th. He's still outside of the range to take advantage of short pitting to maintain a lead once the pit cycles run through. So I don't see Bell being a guy who can lead laps, at least in the first stage. Bell is very much a stage 3 type of guy. Okay. And so I want to lean on just trying to not worry about stage 3, or not worry about stage 3, but I want to nail guys who I know can get laps led and fast laps throughout the entire event. Okay, that's Larson. I think Chastain has the best car through all the adversity that team faced in the different practice sessions, going through 2 rounds of qualifying and still being there. I think Chastain has a really, really good car today. I think Chastain gets the lead from Larson. I think Larson gets past or green at some point in this race, but Larson's going to maintain in the top 5. Larson is going to be there. And we have not had a situation where Larson is a primary guy to chase in probably like 2 months. Okay. And so I think that we might actually get a discount on Kyle Larson, specifically when we look back at the previous race and how ownership shook down in the spring when Ryan Blaney was on the pole and he had 44% ownership. I don't think Larson gets that much ownership. I think the ownership concentrates on Chastain, on Truex, on Byron, and Denny Hamlin in the top 7, and so, or in the top 5. And so I like playing Larson. He's going to have the advantage on the start. If he could just get 60, 70 laps, that's perfectly fine. Okay. He's going to not eat off, but he's gonna, what's the word? He's gonna get fast laps throughout the runs. Okay, throughout this entire race, very similar to Nemechek last night. Okay, if the only people getting fast laps in this race are the people who short pit first, which we can very easily see Chastain, Hamlin, Truex being those guys. Larson is now in a position that he is going to have to do that if he wants to maintain the lead. So I like that. That's how you get those fast laps. You either run top 5 or you're going to short pit. Those guys are going to be there. Sure, Elliott can short pit. Bell can short pit. And other people could short pit. Somebody might have a tire go down. They start getting off, or they start, scraping off fast laps throughout this race. But I want to chase lap leaders. I want to be very aggressive here. So if I have 4 guys starting inside the top 15, if I have 3 guys starting inside the top 5, I am perfectly fine with that today. And it goes back to JJ Yaley. Look, I understand when you look at last night, if you played the 3 biggest guys who took all the laps led, that's the situation that we're looking for. Okay, so I played Nick last night. You know how many laps, or you know how many points Nick gave me? I think it was like 3. He ran into an issue. I also had Timmy Hill and Raj Karuk. We didn't get a yellow. The race went green. Surprising, but as I said, it's not going to kill you if you have your lap leaders. I actually didn't min cash. It's not min cash. Well, I mean, let me change that. My lineup cashed, despite the fact that I had Raja, Hill, and Nick, but it didn't min cash. It got to like the second tier. I don't know what that's called exactly. But same situation here. Yaley, give me 18 points. I don't care. 18 points is fine. Give me like a 30th place finish. I understand it's not going to look great. I understand it might not be optimal. But in terms of the 44, in terms of the 12, in terms of the $4 single entry, in terms of other like the 20 or the 24, I think Yaley is perfectly fine in those types of contests. I think if you can nail the lap leaders, you're going to be perfectly fine. You're going to cash in those contests. So that's where I want to go here. When I look at, let me sort everybody here by salary on my end, so I can answer this question better for you. 56 of you guys here. I do appreciate you joining me early on the Sunday morning. As I said, I try and get these out of the way so I'm not interfering with. I know Pinnell does live shows usually about an hour after I do. Let me just color coordinate this stuff on my side so it's easier for me to see. So this is in terms of cheap ringers. Honestly, it's quite shocking that Yaley's the cheapest. TBH, 100%. We can't play BJ. Clearly had mechanical issues. Only ran one lap when brought it down into the garage. Didn't even take queue time. Worried about that. Where starts? I need to actually add the starting positions here. Actually, I don't. No, just answer this based on projections. I'm not playing where. Not playing Castle. Not playing Gillen. If I give JJ 18 points, which, ladies and gentlemen, that is not crazy. You know how many positions that is? That's a 30th place finish. That's not crazy at all. Okay, so we give Yaley 18 points. I have BJ for 11. I have Ware for 16. I have Castle for 19. I have Todd Gillen for 17. Okay, so we are not that far away from these guys. And when we start going more and more expensive, I think we're really pushing the boundary of getting a 5x from somebody. So like we're not playing LaJoy. Okay, he's 5,200. I got him projected for 22 points. Okay, Ty Dillon is about the only guy in really below 6K that I think is playable. And the fact that he starts in the middle of the field is very, very worrying. And I think I'll put the rankings on the screen in a minute as we'll go through. I think we'll actually do that together. Hold on. Let me do that because I do like doing this. So let me put this here. Let me add this to the stream. Share. Let's go. All right. So let's go ahead and go through this, and I do see that we're getting more questions and stuff, but I want to answer this together. All right. So let me get this off here. As I said, we're not playing BJ. I think Yaley is perfectly fine. Projections wise, bit concerning, but in the grand scheme of things, when you compare him against other people, I think it's perfectly fine. When we look at McDowell, so as I said, I don't think he can pass here. I think this is going to be a very, very hard race to pass in. McDowell has struggled at this racetrack his entire career. Okay. So the fact that even McDowell on his good days at this track is like his 18th place car, this is where I would lean more into confirming like previous track results and then looking at where he is in practice, look at his current form. And so like, look, McDowell has always struggled here. The fact that he did not do any long runs in practice, very scary, very concerning. Clearly not liking the car. Starting 34th, can't do it. I just don't see it for McDowell. And he's in a very, very odd place in terms of salary. You're just not going to land in the $6,200. I mean, you'll probably end up landing there with like one guy, and there's better plays in the 6K range than McDowell. When we look at Oxen Cindric, I think Cindric gets slammed into a bunch of lines. I think specifically, I think he's way more viable on FanDuel today because he's cheaper than the $7,500 price tag on DraftKings, and I think he has a better chance of working out on FanDuel today. But look, I think he's right around like 36 points or something, just teetering right on a 5x. And do I really want to bother like wasting money chasing Cindric for like 36, 38, 40 points when I'm giving up the ability to pay up for somebody else who can score me 92 points today, 82 points, 70 points? Like I don't feel like, killing lines just to get Cindric in, just to get Eric Amarola. And then this is me being very straightforward, very open of trying to answer guys with a straight yes or no. Where would I go there? I understand if you're playing cash, if you don't want to chase like 4 lap leaders You'll probably end up in the 7K ranges and stuff. But I mean, those are decisions you got to make. Personally, I don't want to go there. I'm giving LaJoy, like I said, I'm giving him 22 points a day. Burton can teeter-totter depending on what you want to do. It's going to be between him and Ty Dillon for most people. And this is a situation where the value play today is Ty Dillon, Harrison Burton, and I honestly believe it's JJ Yaley. I believe these are the only three people viable to be your cheapest guy in a line. And this also goes into lineup construction. You can very easily avoid using the 5K range if you go to Yaley and then paying up for a lot of people. And I don't think it's necessarily a stars and scrubs type of line. It's literally just Yaley on the bottom and then like 3 to 4 lap leaders up top. And then you're still left with like a 6 or possibly a 7K guy, depending on who you go with. I think that is a much better way to go about this than going Ty Dillon, than going Harrison Burton. And granted, I might be very aggressive on Harrison Burton because I don't think he's going to move up a ton. I understand that he finished 18th in the spring. I think he gets stuck here because there's a lot of good cars in front of him that he has to get through. All the people that he's normally racing around are starting inside the top 19, starting inside the top 15. And so he's already at a disadvantage there. Everybody starting around him right now are all in better cars. Okay. And so I think Burton actually struggles more in this race due to the fact that he's going to get shuffled or pinned into like running like 28, 29 for a good portion of this race because Eric Almirola is going to get by him. Cindric's going to get by him. He's honestly going to contend with McDowell. He's not going to pass Kyle. He's not going to pass Reddick. He's not going to pass Suarez, Elliott, Bell. He's not passing these guys. Okay, so he's still going to be running right around where he starts in this race. And then by that point, other people who normally race around him are coming back through the field towards him. I think Burton gets stuck running like mid-20s today. That's why I would, between Ty Dillon and Burton, I would probably go Ty Dillon. I want to avoid both these guys because I think there's just, I think you're giving too much up for $5,800 Harrison Burton, for a $54 or $5,400 Ty Dillon. Just play Yaley. Like, who cares, guys? Who cares? That's where I'm at. When we look at Harrison Burton, no, as I've said before, my stuff is telling me I gave Kyle Busch 68 points today, 68.4 points to be exact, and it is telling me to not go there. So based on that, based on where I have everybody projected with my own personal stuff, I'm not playing Kyle Busch. We're not doing Ware. We're not doing Justin Haley. Now that we've got past this part, we're, at least in my opinion, we're avoiding the place differential plays that are the safe plays in the back because I think there's a big chance that these guys hurt your lines or they just can't move up, or God forbid they go a lap down because they're starting in the back of the field, whereas Larson, Truex, Chastain going to be running these guys down. Last thing you want is to play Eric Almirola and he gets stuck a lap down early in the race. So on top of that, if you're playing guys that might get stuck a lap down, if you're playing guys that can't move forward, as I said, like if you get lapped in this race, which I think we're going to see a lot of guys get lapped, if we're expecting this race to go green for a majority of the race, okay? And so very similar to yesterday, we're probably going to have 18, 17 guys on the lead lap at some point in this race, okay? Playing these guys back here, they're at a really, really scary part that they are going to get stuck in dirty air, that they can't pass, and that they get lapped by the leader. And so that's where I'm at there. Let me go through some questions and then I'll continue going here. Let's see. We'll get through. Well, I'll kind of answer that as I go along. We'll get there. I'll answer that. I answered your question with Burton clutch. Let's see. Is there really a second drop off? Yeah. What do you? Yeah, of course, dude. There's a huge fall off here. There's a gigantic fall off. Tire wear is going to be huge. You are way slower. Like if you look, I mean, this is why personally, at least for this track, I like looking at mile per hour instead of seconds. But you can still see that there's just gigantic fall off. You know, really between the first, if you got a decent car, you're running 116, 115 at the start of a run. 10 laps in, you're down to 112, 111 at the start finish line. Huge fall off here. And I think people forget that as well. Like, bro, this is a fall off type of track. Okay. And trucks wasn't crazy. That's what happened when the race goes green. And I'm not saying that because like it's the truck series. Like there's people who are slow. Uh, let's take a look really quick, ladies and gentlemen, at last year's event. How many? Not last year's. What is it called? Let's look at the race in the beginning of this year. Richmond had. How many people finished on the lead laps? You guys want to take a guess real quick? You got to answer it right now in your head. If you answered 18, you're wrong. If you answered 17, you're wrong. 16 people on the lead lap at the end of the Richmond race earlier this year. So, and on top of that, let's go in more detail. 17th to 20th, 1 lap down. 21st to 24th, 2 laps down. 25th to 26th, 3 laps down. 27 to 29th, 4 laps down. You get the point. A lot of people are going to go a lap down today. That is very, very, very dangerous for these people here that I think people are going to play because they want to have a place different. They want to have a PD play in their line. They're like, I would be, I put money on a lot of dumb lines, but I would be absolutely worried all day long if I had Eric Almirola, Cindric, McDowell, Burton, honestly, even Reddick too. Like, there's a chance that Reddick, if the race goes green to start off with, Reddick might go through the field. But a lot of these guys, I would be very, very worried about. And then they're not going to gain positions on pit road. You're not going to get to the lead if you're starting here on pit road. So I think they're very rough plays to go with. Oh man, dude, can I just get through? What are we looking at here, man? All right, here we go. We're doing so well. I was trying to go through. I'm trying to get through the ranking here, but here, let's go ahead and dive into the laps. Let's go ahead and I'm going to take this off the screen for a second so I can look over here. Let's go ahead and look through and I don't know, use 10 minutes of my stream to explain fall off. And I'm not saying that it's a straight 1 second fall off. Okay, not every driver has that. Okay, I'm not saying that. However, some teams are falling off more than other teams. You are most likely looking at, first and foremost, if you're looking at the 5 lap averages, you got to remember that there's 2 distinct, drastically different tracks than these guys practiced. When we are, oops. So what am I even fixing here? Is there really a second drop off between a 5 average and 10 lap average? Yes, there is. Okay, so let's go through here and answer. If you're looking at NASCAR's stuff, you can see that, and this is why I don't like using the NASCAR stuff. That's why, hey, if you're part of the sheet, you can just look at all the laps by themselves. I'm not going to put that on screen because I would rather you go. And if you look at Pearce's video that he also put out, you can see how drastically people fall off here. But like, let's talk about Hamlin. Okay, Hamlin. He is losing 0.3, and this is me looking at what I assume you're looking at, the 5, 10, 15 lap averages. Okay, Hamlin is losing. I just lost where Hamlin is on my fucking screen. 0.3, 0.3, a tenth, a tenth, a tenth. It's roughly around whole second between his whole run there. However, when you look at other people who struggled, like Ty Dillon loses nearly a whole second between his 5 lap and 10 lap averages. When you're like Alex Bowman, doesn't really drop off. So some of those guys maintain a tenth there. It really depends on what people you're looking at. They're not anomalies. There's teams that are drastically slower that literally fall off a cliff like 8 laps into a run. There's some people that don't do that. Like Gregson, he's losing about a tenth between some of the 5-lap runs, whereas other people are losing a gigantic portion of that. So that's where I'm at there. I would much rather you just look at everybody's individual laps and then understand that the 2 practice sessions were drastically different. The 2 qualifying sessions were drastically different, and it all depend on what session you were in. And so if you're really diving into the times, you need to realize that the tracks were completely different between the 2 groups. And so you need to look at who was good in the slowest group and try and see where they would be when put up against the guys in the other group. Like, for example, that's why I like Chastain. Chastain had a fantastic car no matter what the track was doing. Okay, he was there in the good practice, the first slow qualifying group, and then late when he qualified in the final round, he was still fast. Like, that's what I like to see. I want to see people who can not only can carry speed between the 2 drastically different tracks, but who have shown that they can adjust to a changing track. Who is that up front in this race? Who is that in this race? That's Chastain. That's Martin Truex Jr. Hamlin is going to understand how to take care of the car. They're going to be there. I think Larson is in a position to where he doesn't even necessarily have to make enough changes for fantasy players. All he has to do is get the first part of the race right. And if he just rides in 5th for the rest of the day, I'm perfectly content with that, because I don't think Larson wins this race. I don't think he finishes in the top 3, but I think he can lead the early portion of this race. And that's all we need from Larson here. Whereas Chastain is going to be there all day. Hamlin's going to be there all day. Byron's going to be there all day. Truex is going to be there all day. And I would much rather chase those types of guys versus chasing guys that, yes, some people did really have a second fall off and realize that, wow, we are way off the beaten path here. And so they kept going down pit road, making changes. So we don't have a lot of laps from them because they were making wholesale changes because they didn't arrive to the track correctly. All right, let's get back to the ranking stuff so I can get through this and then have more fun, because this is probably the one thing I hate doing the most in these videos, because I feel like I'm like talking down everybody, ranking them here. Where am I at? Reddick. Here's where we can start consider people. I would be worried, just the same arguments that I made there. Where are we at? I think Suarez has a real car. I think he can move up the track. I think Suarez he's going to need yellow. So a lot of these people back here are going to need at least a yellow in stage 2 or stage 3 to save them from not being able to gain a ton of time in the pit strategy. And specifically, like if they're stuck back here and they enter stage 3, they might end up doing a 1-stopper or a 2-stopper. Just a lot of variables. I think they're in play. I think, as I said, personally, I'm not getting to them, but I would honestly probably rather go Elliott than Kyle Busch. But both these, like, I really don't like a lot of these people here. Bell, you can say, I think Bell probably has the best car outside the top 15. So we could probably put Bell there as being like the first guy that, okay, we can actually get there and not be too worried about him being stuck in traffic. It's going to be a long race. He won't be in the top 5 until probably stage 2 or stage 3. But we can see that he has speed there. Now, if you're going to Bell, then you're giving up on a potential lap leader. Okay. I don't believe that Bell leads in this race. You're mainly just playing for him to try and finish in the top 5 that they do on strategy. And so that's where I'm at there. When we look at Stenhouse and Gregson, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Chris, if you're in the 6K range and need somebody who I think can actually be fine or be there, and mainly lean into this being a tire fall off race and keeping the tires under him, I think Buescher can be considered. I think Logano can be considered, but like I said, you're giving up on a potential lap leader, and I'm not going there. I'm not going to play Gillen. So at this point, we need to start ranking these guys here. Priority for me. So I want 3 to 4 of these guys that I have A's. That's how I'm building lines. That's how I want to build lines. I can ask Dave, you don't want to do that. I'm not going to go Bowman. If I miss on Custer, on Jones, and on Keselowski, then I missed. I whiffed. We were already starting off bad there. Like if fucking Keselowski shows up and dominates this race, yeah, I was just wrong. man. I can't say any more than that. Blaney, you can we can Blaney, Wallace, Harvick, Briscoe, Logano, Busher, Bell, Chase Elliott. You're giving up a lap leader if you chase these guys. Um, I don't want to go Bubba Wallace. I think Booty Barker is gonna bring him the best car there, but I think Bubba is. I don't think he has the speed to get in top four and run all day, because we need to remember that the top four they're not going to change positions. Like, it's going to be very difficult unless they have a major issue for them to fall out the top four. So like Larson is going to be there at least the first stage and a half. Chastain gonna be there all day. Hamlin gonna be there all day. Byron gonna be there all day. Truex gonna be there all day. So, unless these guys absolutely have a catastrophe on pit lane or something happens, I don't see the top 6 drivers really falling out in this race. Okay, it's going to be a very stagnant group of people. These guys that I have A's, that's where I'm there. Granted, Larson might fall down to 5th. Byron might move up to 2nd. Whatever the case is, these guys are the people who are going to have the best chance of gaining the lead on pit lane, on short pitting the field, and actually getting the lead. These are the guys dictating the pace of the race, not only in terms of speed, but in terms of strategy. So, yes, cool. Suarez might want a short pit to try and get something going on. Maybe short pit and get the lead and hopefully that there's a yellow, or stay out long and hope that there's a yellow. But you know what they're doing? They're playing catch up to everybody. And oh, come on, man. I doubt I don't know if this is gonna save. But anyway, you know the pace. These guys are dictating the course of the race. I want to chase after these people here. I'm gonna have to. I'll just rank these guys really quick. I'm not playing Wallace. I'm not doing Dylan. Harvick. We can make the very same argument that we made for Logano, Busher. I would probably have Harvick as a C. Not going Gibbs. Personally, I'm not going to play Briscoe. That's where I'm at there. Let's get this off the screen because, as you can see, Google is just hating me right now. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and actually have fun and enjoy doing this, because honestly, that's that's not very fun for me doing those. All right, let's see. Let's see. Answer that. Yep, I think you're fine. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think it is, but I would try and avoid kind of the 5K range here. Like, let me pull up. That is the wrong link. So like we're in my view, and like you can do that clutch. If you like the line, that's perfectly fine. You just need Dylan to maintain. And like I said, if you get the main lap leaders, sure, it might not be optimal. I don't really care about that argument. We're going to be there, at least cashing, and certainly. I think the 5K range is if you're playing that, you're just playing the guy who projected out the best. I think value is going to be very difficult to come through from that. From really the whole bottom end of the, really from like $6,400 down, from like Stenhouse down, very hard to find somebody who's going to give you like a solid 100% going to get you to 5X. That's where we're at there. Let me. Yeah, personally, I don't think you need to get to Yaley and Ty Dillon in the same line. I think you can very easily get to just another lap leader. So I think you're leaving too much opportunity on the table using Ty Dillon and Yaley together. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Ryan. You know what I mean? If I said it was dumb, I'm pretty sure I was just reading like Clutch's comment here. I mean, that dictates it more. As I just said, personally, I don't believe that I need to use both Ty Dillon and Yaley. However, Clutch is most likely using a more expensive guy than I am, whereas I'm content with using guys who you probably have Hamlin in your line. I'm assuming you're trying to prioritize Hamlin, where I would try and get to Byron, Bowman, Suarez. I'm perfectly fine being in that range there. You probably have a guy in the 11s in your life, whatever the case is. That's why I'm whatever. It's very tasty, very cheap. I like that. I like things that are tasty. I like things that are cheap. Good Little Caesars for me. That's where I'm at there. No comment. I plead the fifth. I really don't care. I really, really don't care. I want Kyle Busch to go Xfinity Series racing full time. That's my only dream there. 100 of you guys here. I do appreciate you being here. I know the chat has been rather non-interested in the video today, and I'm probably giving off a, oh my god, I'm very over this type of race. But look, I'm telling you, man, I'm worried about place differential plays. I would be really, really scared about those guys there. That's where I'm at. There. What streak are you referring to, Clutch? Even when we look back at the previous optimal from the spring, I understand it had Bowman, and Bowman started 28th, finished 8th. It had Dillon, started 25th, finished 10th. Buescher started 18th, finished 15th. But Byron started 2nd, finished 3rd. Truex started 6th, finished 4th. Bell started 9th, finished 6th. I think it's very similar to where we're probably going to have 3 guys who start in the top 10 being optimal here. And the fact that there were 2 place differential plays that came through with Bowman and Dillon. Who can those guys be here? I understand that it could possibly be Cindric, could possibly be Eric Almirola, could possibly be Tyler Reddick. I think that's a reason why I think you should prioritize trying to get to Bell today, because I think he can have a good shot at being there. Same thing with Suarez. Even Reddick to an extent, but Reddick, I'm concerned about that speed. Didn't run very long. I'm very, very worried about that speed from Reddick. The fact that they did not run a lot of laps, that is very concerning. Where's Reddick at? Let me. Yeah, Reddick he runs like 5 laps, comes down pit lane, runs a couple more. Actually starts running with a 9-lap run, comes down pit lane, comes back out, runs another 5 laps, and I mean he is just fallen off a cliff. I mean, Reddick is a guy who I would not be shocked if he loses a second of speed in like 12 laps. Early in this run, and this is a run, it's not like a Q run. He's running 117 at the line, 116 at the line. You do 6 more laps on those tires, he's running 112s. That's a huge drop off from Reddick. So I would be very worried about that. It's the same reason why I don't like McDowell. It's the same reason why I don't like Jones. So that's where I'm at there. I think the amount of laps ran is a great indication of what these guys can bring to the table. It's the reason why I still have Blaney in the pool. Reason why I like Hamlin, even with Bell as well. Even Yaley ran a lot of laps, man. That's always good to see. He ran nearly 20 laps in practice. I understand it's not like outrageously amount, but like Yaley's doing long runs, man. Yaley's going for runs, and when you put Yaley in terms of his average compared to other people, I understand that that's going to be a bit skewed, but he's 21st on average speed across the board with everybody else. I'm not saying he's going to do that, But when we're looking for somebody to gain us 6 positions, I think that's very easy to see that. I don't think that was. I don't know. I'm like I haven't rewatched the race yesterday. I just watched it as it was happening, keeping up with people. I'd like to look at Holmes's laps compared to everybody else in the long run. But I mean, the clear answer is yes. But I think that question is more so: do we need to find the driver X who scores the place differential that other people aren't going to have in a similar range? Well, the answer is always yes there. But that's where I'm at there. I think that's fine. Oh, I don't know, man. Do we even care about, like, who gives a shit about these streaks? Look at these fucking tracks we've been to. These are so, you guys, these questions are big L's today, man. This is like NASCAR Race Hub, man. Am I on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio? Are you guys listening to Dave Moody, man? I mean, I hate these questions. These are, I I I I guess, man, but like, that's why I don't understand when these people are like, man, look at these streaks. Here we go. I'm walking into the Kyle Busch rant again. Like, look at these streets. We get Michigan 2 mile, Indy, joke of a road course, Pocono, okay, New Hampshire, okay. Those 4 races have nothing in common. You go to a super speedway. Wow, you got a top 10 at a super speedway. Congratulations. Road America, like Nashville, Sonoma, Gateway, Charlotte. I mean, these races are so different. The talking about streaks and stuff that the TV does is just they're trying to fill the time. They're trying to find things that sound interesting. I don't care if somebody has several consecutive top 10s. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. In my mind. I know, man. I hate stuff is rough, man. I'm assuming that people are happy with not only the video but like their own approach today, because for a Cup Series video, we're not getting a lot of questions. So either I've at least explained my opinion, and people can either see that side or they agree with me or they don't. I don't know. That's where I'm at there. I think the pool today is like 14 guys. When you look at the optimal line in the last event here, I'll put this up on the screen real fast. I talked about it in the videos in terms of projections and what I want. But let me share this real quick. So this is the optimal from the spring. How many playable drivers do you see here? Let's act like we can't see the driver names. In terms of totals, how many playable drivers are in this race? I mean, we can start arguing that it starts here. I would say it's even less because when you look at these prices, these guys are not paying off these prices. When you look at Fantasy Point, this is where the value really shows, and when we just see how fucking terrible some of these plays are in terms of value. If you look at guys that are close to 5x, I'll throw in Dylan, I'll throw in Burton. I got to take out Kyle Busch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 people. If you went into Richmond last time with a pool of that's why I just cut people out. I understand that some people don't like that. But that's also why when I ran my projections here and I didn't even bother trying to make it use Kyle Busch. It said Kyle Busch, don't even bother wasting time with it. So I removed these guys from the pool. So we're looking at 14 guys in the spring race that got close to a value that could work. Okay. If we approach this race today with the same approach, we can realistically make a pool of like 16 guys. Everybody else gets thrown out. Okay. Like if they're not projected well for me, I'm throwing them out. So that's how I go about it. At least that's where I'm coming from. You're not supposed to bring that up. Um, I don't like you anymore, Kay. I said Rick Ware would get a win before Bubba Wallace, and that's still up in the air. Did Bubba win Talladega? I don't think so. NASCAR won Talladega. All right. Booty Barker won Talladega. Okay, but I don't know if Bubba got that one. Bubba has a big 0 in the win column. I hate my life, dude. Okay, fun. Now that we're really just wasting time here, I have the humor of like an old man. Okay, like I have boomer humor to the max. I get on memes like months after they die, like way, way, way too long. Like when the Let's Go Brandon thing was happening, I hated it because my name is Brandon. Okay, and that's all I would hear from my family, and they weren't even talking about. I mean, not even talk. Like how it was. That was very annoying. Now I'm like I'm like a boomer. I just want to hear people say "Let's go, Brandon." I find it funny now. I know it happened last year. It took me like nearly a full year around the sun to be like laughing at that. But now, with the Jordan question, all I just wanted to scream was "Let's go, Brandon!" And like the minions, the little minion. Like I want a minion plushie in the background of the one. I think that'd just be cute as hell. You know, it that's just where I'm at. No, dude, stop playing Super Draft for NASCAR at this point. Just save your money for the NFL. These contests are too small. I want Truex, man. I want Truex today, so I'd put Truex in there. I would put them all together. I probably have the captain as I think it's Chastain who has the highest multiplier today on that. But I would do all of them. I don't really want you to like mail me a burger. Well, I do appreciate the thought. That stuff will be pretty rancid and green. And yeah. Hey, all right, here's a story for you. We're doing story time here. A lot of people are like, man, you're a messed up individual. I wonder. I guess I've had like a lot of things. I was talking to somebody, actually two people. Frankie said it as well. One of the guys I know in real life. Anyway, so I'm like, true story. I think this is. So I was in first grade. This is the first time I was in first grade because I flunked first grade because that's remember when I was this little steamed vegetable. I was a really dumb child, and my mom's walking me around one of the cancer research centers in El Paso, and it was right after like a flood. So this is probably like 2005. I don't remember how old I was. If I was whatever the case, it's like 2005. I think it's 04, 05, 06. One of the can't be 06 because I'd be 8. Maybe 03, 02, whatever the case. I was a very young child, and my mom was walking me around and explaining like, hey, you want to be careful in these types of areas, especially during like a flash flood or something, because you'll drown. You're gonna get swept up into one of those irrigation canals, or not the irrigation canals, but the where all the storm water runs out and stuff. And we were walking over to this big concrete structure in the ground where all the water goes through and drains in, and bam, I shit you not, man, dead body that's been there for I have no idea how long. Naked, by the way. I believe it was a homeless man who anyway. So I wander up there as like a I don't know 4-year-old and walk up and see this decomposed little body there. So that was a real changing part of my life. I think that's quite normal. So hey man, I got tons of stories like that. So if you want like a story time with Cruz or something, we can always do that. 100%. 100% telling the truth. You can find news articles on it. I forgot what Cancer Research Center was, but 100% found it. Clearly started crying like a baby because I was like, wow, very shocked. And then I remember this. Honestly, the funniest part of the whole story is that I went to school like the next week and stuff, and when we'd have little writing prompts. So imagine this little short bus kid writing in broken grammar about finding just a dead body just constantly. And I remember the principal and my teacher called my mom and said, "What the fuck is wrong with this steamed vegetable child? All he does is keep writing about this dead body." So I think that was like the best part of that whole experience for me, is that I I end up writing about it in, like, my first grade class as as like the dumb kid in the corner. That's like the best part of the whole story, in my opinion. Um, yeah, see, now the chat lighting up. We're done talking about fantasy stuff. Now we're just talking about random stuff. So yeah, what's they're gonna need to have it rain in Daytona for Bubba to win that race. Oh man, let's see what's going on here. Wow. Let's see. There's Race Hub. Oh yeah, so I think that is a pretty big concern with Blaney and Truex. However, when we get to Watkins Glen, I think it's more up in the air. Here, I think Truex is going to be the main guy here to get more stage points, because I think he'll finish ahead of Blaney. I think Truex is a contender to win this race. I don't think Blaney has the speed to overtake Truex in this race, at least for like this situation here. And so, when we get to Watkins Glen next weekend, I think that's when the playoff things really come into play, because you're going to have a lot of guys not competing for the win. They're going to be competing for stage points, stay above the cut line. So I think this gets elevated next weekend at Watkins Glen. Yeah, dude, it'd be cute as hell. Like, I would love that. Oh yeah, okay. We did get a question about pit data, and I'm 100% dead serious, man. And so I don't know. I'm sure that changed my view. No wonder why I'm like I'm one leg short of full set up here. Okay, but I don't know, man. We've had a ton. I got tons of fucking stories like that. I don't know, man. I'm sure I'm not the only Hispanic child who has seen dead bodies in a border town. Let's go ahead and look at the pit stalls real fast. I posted this in the Discord, and that does have a huge that is a huge factor. But we'll go over the pit stalls over here real quick. Yeah, J Ski. I would love it, dude. I would. At this point, I would love nothing more for Kurt Busch to just never get back in a race car. Oh man, not because I hate Kurt, but just we haven't had a career-ending injury in a very long time. You know, BVP, thank you very much, my main man, my home skillet. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, supporting the stories, and just and being here donating again. I do appreciate it. It took a okay, so I guess we'll go into more as I bring up the pit data here, or I bring up the pit stalls. So when we look at the pit stalls real fast, I'll get back to answering this stuff. That's weird. Don't call me uncle. That's very strange. Larson has a great pit. The main contenders for good pit stalls: Larson, Byron, Chastain, Stenhouse. I don't think he's in contention. Hamlin certainly has one. Elliott, Dylan Briscoe, Jones, Ty Dillon, Bubba Wallace, Blaney, Bowman, Ty Gibbs, Truex, Suarez. Now, out of those individuals, I think the main guys that are able to take advantage of those situations are Larson, Byron, Chastain, Hamlin, probably Bowman, Blaney, Truex. Just real quick. But I do think that, and that's just based on the pit stall selection. You can look through the pit data yourself. At this point, we kind of know who it is. I don't even have to really say much, but you can look through the pit data yourself whenever you whenever I get done with this, if you're a part of the Patreon. But yeah, BVP, thank you very much for the support. I do appreciate it. I know Pearce appreciates it. Well, I do send this stuff to Pearce, but I get paid out from Google at the end of every month. And typically I get paid for the previous month. Like, I think it cuts off like on the 9th of every month. So between, like July 9th and August 9th, all that money will then get sent at the end of the like next month. And so it's always like a month behind on stuff. But yeah, thank you very much for the support. If you guys still want story, we got 94 of you guys here. I thought that'd like scare you off. I could start talking about Bush doing 9/11. I mean, I got tons of conspiracy theories. Like, did the Holocaust even actually happen? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, Daytona should be just an absolute wreck fest. It should be. This Daytona is gonna be nuts. I don't know. I can tell you right now, I'm just playing the punts at Daytona. Let's see. Just a hailing a GPP. And yes, YouTube, yes, the Holocaust happened. I would prefer if you don't demonetize my channel. That was a joke. Don't cancel me. Justin Haley. I think Colleague struggles, man. I think Colleague runs into issues. I think Colleague does run into issues here. Like when we look at New Hampshire, yes, he finished 20th. We look at Gateway. I think he got saved a lot late in that race by the people being stupid because his average running position at Gateway. Well, yeah, I mean, this is the tail of the tape here. Had 26th best cart in New Hampshire, 27th best cart Gateway. Richmond and Martinsville, previous races here in the spring, had about a 26th place car, and so I don't think Haley is going to be a guy who can step up and do good. Hey, look, Alex Jones, 100% here. You guys are gonna really dislike me here. Alex Jones is fucking entertaining. Okay, I'm not saying he is the end all be all. Clearly, he says things that are incorrect. I'm not arguing that. I'm talking about in terms of entertainment. I fucking love me some Alex Jones, man. You don't shit on Alex Jones just because the guy's a lunatic. That stuff is entertaining to listen to. Everybody shits on Rogan and stuff. Rogan's entertaining to listen to. Okay, I don't know why these people are like Rogan needs to do a better job at not spreading misinformation. It's just two guys talking. It's like a bro. It's a bro podcast. I like the Nelk podcast too. I like the Nelk Boys. I've always enjoyed the Nelk Boys. I think that's a fantastic podcast to listen to. I think they make really good content. That's where I'm at there. I don't know what that is. Stenhouse. I'm not going Stenhouse. Yeah, dude, man, he was right, man. Alex Jones was right, man. They put stuff in the water. I'm serious, man. America hasn't been the same. I think he was ahead of the curve. What else? Got 100. We still got people here, man. I am absolutely baffled. Okay, look, I'll end it with Jeff Luck today. Yeah, Alex Jones is fucking awesome, man. We all understand that the guy is not accurate, but like, can you imagine the stress that his heart has to be that amped up every day for hours at a time? I mean, like, I don't know, man. You got to respect it. You got to respect the performance. That's why I'm disappointed. It's so difficult to find Alex Jones stuff online, because at this point in my life, I would totally just have it on the background when I'm like vacuuming and doing stuff around the apartment. What else? I love it. See, man, we stopped talking about DFS stuff and the chat just starts breaking up. I'm not going to go to Gibbs. I got him projected for 30.6 points today, finishing 15th. That's where I think I can see Gibbs. If he ends up running better, then I'll probably just miss it. I don't think I can afford Gibbs. in the stuff that I'm, because Gibbs is $7,600. That's hard to get to with the guys that I want. Oh yeah. I think Burton's fine if you're going that way. I did not, because that's a very specific question, but I can do it here and now. Let's see. Join list. Larson, Burton plus Chastain. I mean, these are two drastically different questions. Man, it took them a long time to show up. No, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about InfoWars, man. It's difficult to get to. First off, I gotta go through so many different stuff to. I don't know. I wish my main point was I just wish they had. I wish he was on YouTube, because it'd be so much easier for me to find, or if he was on television. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, look, he's on InfoWars. I mean, I'm like, I need a channel just based on InfoWars. Come on, if they can sell me some pixie dust and some conspiracy theories, I'll tune right in. DirecTV, Hulu, can you please put Alex Jones back on? I'm gonna probably say right now this is probably gonna be Chastain and McDowell, due to the fact that I have Chastain projected for slightly more points than Larson, but it's gonna be probably pretty minimal. Yeah. So based on my projections, it's Chastain and McDowell, but because I have Chastain projected for more points than Larson, I think the real thing that you should be asking, Jason, is how do I play Larson and Chastain and Martin Truex Jr. together in the same line? I think that's the way I want to go versus trying to, and especially for cash. For cash, you get as many lap leaders as you can. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So we'll end with Jeff Gluck. I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks back. I guess Boomer Jeff Gluck just found out that you can manipulate polls online, and he thought he was important enough to have people pay to have people troll his polls and stuff. So, I don't know. The guy had a true boomer moment and wanted to use Google polls because he said that is more secure. And so I was like, man, this is too cringy, man. I mean, I love comedy. I'm probably gonna do one line, but I don't think the slate leans one way or the other. Honestly, like some slates, I feel like it leans. I think this is you can go any direction. Be like, I don't think this slate leans single entry more than making a ton of lines, because that's what I was debating this morning. If I want to do 20 lines in the 15 or just one line in every contest, and I think I'll probably do the one line every contest, and we'll see how that goes. Probably be about the same amount of money when it's all said and done. Oh yeah. So anyway, Jeff Gluck has a total boomer moment, and he's saying he wants to use Google Forms, and you know how Twitter is. People don't. You can't go against the masses on Twitter. These people respect these idiotic reporters way too much. Like, nobody ever like criticizes them or does anything. And I'm like, dude, Gluck, you are in an echo chamber, my man. Nobody is telling you that the Google Forms is not going to work. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tweet at Gluck. I never do, and I'm like, please don't block me. That's really my main concern, not because I care about what Jeff Gluck does, but just so I don't have to have a different account or go incognito to read through reporters' tweets really fast. Anyway, we'll go through this word for word because I got nothing else to do. Secondly, thank you for joining me on this Sunday and everything here. I do appreciate it. It's been very fun being here. Let's see. I gotta go down quite a bit. Where am I at with Gluck? Oh yeah. So, somebody tweets at Gluck saying, "I'm all for accurate polls, but wouldn't it be possible to create new Google accounts to manipulate the process, and Gluck like doesn't even like want to acknowledge like that factor. And then I show him, I was like, yeah, hey, Gluck, I voted like 7 times, dude. And he's like, well, you use different accounts. Like, who? And I understand some of you guys might not have tons of accounts, and I don't even mean like I have burner account. I just have a lot of emails due to all this stupid DFS stuff. I need a lot of Google Drive space. Okay, I'm not paying Google for more space when I can just make another Google account. And also, I have all the Google accounts that have my name. Okay, because we are going to run into a situation where people start not losing, but certain Gmail emails and emails are going to be lost just due to people owning them already. So I went ahead and took every Gmail possible with my legal name in it. Okay. So that's why I have like 7 Gmail accounts. Okay. They're all to me. I don't want people like having my name. Uh, anyway. So anyway, I show Gluck that, hey, dumbass, I voted like 9 times. Here, I'll vote some more for you. And he's like, well, that's just dumb. That people don't do that. I don't know. Gluck is such a boomer, man. These guys are so weird. And then, of course, oh, yeah, that's what I put. Jeff, normally I don't tweet at you, but this is rough to watch in a certified boomer moment. Google polls are way easier to manipulate. Even if you put on location text and a VPN will get around it. Just go back to Twitter polls. Source, I voted multiple times on this. And he's like, BS on that. I have email sign on in. Each email only counts once, which he is right. Okay. Man, he cucked me. He really showed me a VPN or using a browser on private mode has nothing to do with it. Okay, Gluck, I'll just show you my 7 emails that I voted with. I don't know. And it wasn't me like I'm passionate about this. I was just like, Gluck, can you please stop tweeting about this stupid poll? Nobody cares. This is an issue. The fact that NASCAR uses your dumb Twitter poll to make gigantic financial decisions is ridiculous. Like that's the ridiculous part. I don't even know if he's still doing the polls. I don't really care. I don't know, man. What a boomer. What a big boomer moment. And then of course I get the flack because I'm like, people are like, oh, I can't believe you care enough about this. And I'm like, well, first off, I'm a troll. Okay. Clearly I'm like, I don't bully people online. Like I'm not telling people to go kill themselves, but man, I like a good trolling every now and then. Like I'm not going to swat somebody and I don't want to be swatted, but watching watching swatting videos are kind of entertaining. God forbid I get swatted, but I'll probably end up, I don't know. Hopefully I don't get shot because I'm I'm a minority, so they're gonna plaster my brains against the wall. Just kidding. They're not. I'm gonna outrun them. They're not gonna shoot me out. I'm gonna outrun them. I'll jump off this 3rd-story balcony and run away. Let's see what else we got. So Bowman he can be there. I wouldn't be shocked if Bowman got the lead at some point in this race. Like if he led, it wouldn't shock me. But I think the speed that Chastain, Hamlin, Truex, even his teammate Byron has over him can limit the exposure that I would give to Alex Bowman. And he's probably the one guy I don't want to get to. Now, if you're in a big GPP, like you're in the 15 and you have, say you do have Chastain and Truex and you want to get different, I think Bowman's the way to get different. I don't know if he works out, but I think those are I think that's too different in my opinion. That's where I'm at there. Okay, talking about trolling real quick. One thing that I enjoy watching online are people like just emptying a magazine at a range and seeing range officers get mad. This is like a pet peeve of mine. Like I don't like indoor ranges, and I don't like ranges that are not that I want like a Wild West. Like you have what's his name, Dragon Man. He has. First off, if you guys want to go down a rabbit hole, let me get his actual name. Make sure. what's his name? Yeah, so look up Dragon Man, Dragon Man's apostrophe S at the end. He has a military history museum. He has a uh, I just went blank. He has a range. He has a lot of stuff, and he's very. I love his historic videos. I love his stuff. I'd love to check out the museums and stuff if I ever had a chance to. However, when I talk about like gun ranges and stuff, I don't like the entire like strict part of the indoor ranges. The fact that you can't fire certain calibers, the fact that you can't uh, bring certain weapons, and I'm not being like, oh my god, they're not letting me take my Barrett 50 cal, like no, like that, but like I can't shoot 223s in an indoor range. And I'm not just gonna waste my time, just there. I'm not gonna pay like $45 for a day to shoot every 7 seconds, at a paper target. However, on the opposite side, I don't just want a range where any lunatic can go out there and just empty mags left and right. Um, anyway, my point was, first off, if you want rabbit hole to go down, check out Dragon Man. He was gonna get a TV show on Discovery, and they had a pyrotechnics issue in one of the episodes. It ends up killing his wife. Like the man is wild, man. It is a heck of a rabbit hole to go down. But yeah, anyway, like if you guys want to watch like memes, just check out videos of like range officers getting mad at people dumping magazines right before they leave. That's always something so entertaining to me. Um, anyway, let's see. I don't know. Do you call like I take offense because you call me a moron. However, I watch Jones just for the entertainment, my guy. Like everything is like say I'm not sophisticated. I don't have a sophisticated enough vocabulary to sound smart. So I just kind of like go in circles and stuff. But that's funny. Like that's why Alex Jones is so funny. The people like the fact that his show will like ruin a Thanksgiving dinner is like the funniest thing in my mind. Like that fact alone makes me a fan of Alex Jones because he just divides people like crazy. Like the fact that his knowledge is taken and used in like everyday discussions is hilarious. Like that is comedy. That is so funny. And that's why I'm like, yeah, dude, don't censor him. Fucking keep it going. Um so in fact, I don't know. I hope you know of somebody who has had a Thanksgiving dinner ruined by Alex Jones because that is hilarious. Um, mm, 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 I did not realize that was banned, and that is it's a musical ensemble. What is this? I don't know. I'll check them out. Motorhead is the end all be all. These guys seem like. What year did Mayhem come out? 1980. Yeah, so like your little I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm probably gonna say it like a child. Your little band that you think shits on Motorhead just seems like they want to be Mayhem. Um, so there's that. It's like they found the album with what is it suicide from Dead killing himself on there and was like, yeah, let's make a band. I don't know, but I don't know. I'll check them out. Let's see. Uh, dude, I don't know, man. I know you just hopped in here. I'm not playing Kyle Busch, just due to the fact that I don't think he can lead laps. He's got a long way to go. I got Kyle Busch projected for 68.4 points today, and he's still not a priority for me. All right, we're all right. You're talking about references I don't get. So I think that is my call to leave. We have rambled on for an hour and 15 minutes. 8080, you guys still here. I do appreciate it. If you want to support me, support Pearce, especially after this video, feel free to join the Patreon or donate on the PayPal link in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. What is this? I would do the first one, Corey. That's what I would do. Best of luck, everyone. BVP, thank you very much for the $50 donation. Clutch, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.